You watch Rebel Life Boxing. Make sure y'all like and subscribe for more Rebel-based content that only a Rebel could give y'all. Y'all know what it is. What's going on? So I'm here to give my prediction for the upcoming matchup between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia, scheduled for May 4th, Cinco de Mayo weekend. All right. This is part of Canelo Alvarez 3-fight PBC deal. This is fight number 2, and it was debatable on who he was going to choose. And there was a lot of speculation. It was going to be Terrence Crawford, Jaime Munguia, Jamal Charlo, but ultimately he picked Jaime Munguia. So let's get into the tail of the tape. So we got Canelo Alvarez, 60 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by knockout, 65% KO ratio. He's 33 years old, 5'8", with a 70.5-inch arm reach. Canelo is one of the most established fighters right now, currently boxing. Everybody wants a shot at Canelo because it's almost like Canelo Alvarez is the lottery of boxing, so to speak. He is the man to beat. He is the man that will get you that bag. He's one of those type of fighters that everybody want to line up to fight because it's more so people can say it's about legacy. To a certain extent, if you want to be the first person to knock him out, then I say that's legacy. Otherwise, it's just a money grab, to be real, because he already been beaten twice. So only other feat that somebody got to accomplish is to beat him by knocking him out. And that's really it. But patient fighter, very good upper body movement, strong body work, pretty good inside work, decent jab. Yeah, he's a pretty good jabber. Good punching power. He's not really a, you don't really have, to me, he's not really a big mover like that, with his feet. Likes to set traps. He's very smart, man. Canelo's smart. He has good ring IQ. Hell of a chin. But, he's been doing a lot of duck antics lately, man, and I can't really respect that, but the boy put in work, man. He's a hell of a fighter. He can fight. He's basic to me, though, but he's a fight. He can fight, but I still think he's basic, man. That's just my humble opinion. Now let's go over to Jaime Munguia. Okay, Jaime Munguia. He has 43 wins, no losses, 34 wins by knockout. So Jaime Munguia has a 79% knockout ratio. So he's a good puncher, very good power. 6 foot in height. Don't know his arm reach because I don't see it anywhere. They just say he's 6 foot tall, and he's 27 years old. So he's younger than Canelo. He's taller, and likely he has a longer arm reach too. And looks like he has more punching power. If you want to go by, ratios and the amount of fights that these dudes had. But yeah, no losses. And we already know the reason why is because most of Jaime Munguia's opponents have been less than opponents. It hasn't been anybody that was going to really bring much of a challenge to him. I'd say his toughest fight, somebody that gave him real hell was Sergey Derevyanchenko. He really gave him a good one. But let's talk about both of these dudes' last 3 fights. But let's first, before I get into that, I forgot about Jaime Munguia. Like, his traits, man. So most of the time, he's a come forward fighter. Very good sharp jab, very strong. Not much head movement. Basically, no real footwork. But like I said, his defense is a little leaky as well too, especially when he's getting into exchanges. But he is what he is. He's a brawler, pretty much. He's a brawler, and sharp puncher, man. Sharp puncher. But let's get into their last three fights. Canelo, his last three fights, he fought Jermell Charlo last. We already know how that went. He went 12 rounds with Jermell Charlo, knocked him down in the 7th round, beat him up for the whole fight. It just looked like, it was horrible to watch Jermell go out like that for a bag, but it is what it is. Then before that, he fought John Ryder, went the distance with him, 12 rounds. John Ryder showed a lot of grit, a lot of heart in that fight. He knocked Ryder down in the 5th round. And then before that, he fought Gennady Golovkin in their 3rd fight. That went 12 rounds. So Canelo's last knockout was in 2021. He hasn't had a knockout in like 3 years. Okay, so his last knockout came against Caleb Plant in the 11th round. Okay. So, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at some. So John Ryder, the fight with John Ryder was okay. He did his thing. Same. It wasn't nothing special. No special effects there. He did what he was supposed to do against Ryder. The Golovkin fight, the last one, I mean, I wasn't really. It was okay. It wasn't like the first 2 fights. He didn't really dazzle me in any of his last 3 fights, to be honest with you. But as far as his performance goes, I mean, he performed, to me, the best against Jermell Charlo. That's really all I got to say about that, man. I mean, I'm not really impressed. I'm not impressed. Jaime Munguia, his last 3 fights. Last fight was John Ryder. He knocked him out in the 9th round. John Ryder, put up a pretty decent fight, but got knocked down quite a bit in that fight. Got knocked down once in round 2, and then he got knocked down. He got knocked down one time in rounds 2 and 4, and then he got knocked down twice in the 9th round. So yeah, knocked out 9th round. Then he fought Sergey Deverenchenko, which gave him a really good, tough fight. That was a war that he went the distance with Sergey. And then he knocked out somebody in the 3rd round in Gonzalo Correa. I don't even think that's even worth talking about at all. So Jaime Munguia's best performance, man, was, to me, against John Ryder. He showed a little bit more patience. He was aggressive, but he wasn't as he looked a little bit sloppier in the Sergey fight, if you ask me. But he ended up with 2 knockouts in the UD in his last 3 fights. Canelo's last 3 fights were all decisions. So how does this fight go? Jaime is probably going to be a little bit more cautious in this fight. I don't think he has the IQ of a Canelo because he hasn't fought the level of comp, So I think Canelo's going to easily bait him into a lot of shots. And Jaime doesn't really have, his defense ain't that good. He doesn't really move his head much. He doesn't have the footwork. So I see him early on having a little bit of success because Canelo's going to probably play possum a little bit. And then when he start to really pour it on Jaime, it might be a little bit too much for him, especially going on his back foot. He don't really like that. So Canelo will put him on his back foot, but Canelo's going to do the typical thing, go up on the ropes, shell up, let him get punched to the body, and then that's where he might end up clipping Jaime with something. Jaime get a little bit too overzealous, like, I got him. And then I see Canelo, punching out of his guard and hitting him somewhere, dazing him to the head and then going down to the body and probably going to drop him to the body. But as far as a knockout goes, I don't think he's going to knock out Jaime Munguia. I think this is probably another decision win for Canelo because Jaime he's tough. He's tough. I think Canelo's on a decline. And I just made a video earlier about cherry picking. And Jaime, to me, is a cherry. And what if this goes the way many of us don't think it'll go? What if he ends up hitting Canelo with something that he don't see or he thought, he could handle, and then he ends up wobbling Canelo and then goes on the attack and knocks him out. That's going to be big, man. It's going to be big for Jaime Munguia, and it's going to be bad for Canelo at that point. That's a strong possibility, so y'all can't count out Jaime Munguia. But, when you want to speak reality, Canelo should definitely whoop on this boy for 12 rounds. Another thing, there could still be a stoppage. Now, when you compare Canelo's last 3 opponents, as far as their defense go and their toughness, when you compare Jaime Munguia to like a Jermell Charlo, John Ryder, and a Gennady Golovkin, there's without a doubt, Golovkin got the chin, so he wasn't going nowhere. John Ryder is just tough as hell. He's gonna keep getting back up. Jaime, I don't think ever been down in the fight, bro. Jermell Charlo has way better defense than Jaime Munguia. So when you think about it, the smart pick would be a decision win because Canelo's been getting nothing but back-to-back decision wins. All his fights went to decisions in the last 3. But then when you compare Jaime Munguia towards, compare him as quality compared to the last 3 fighters that Canelo fought, they all fought better competition. Even Gennady, he fought better competition than Jaime Munguia. Jermell Charlo fought better competition. John Ryder. So there's a strong possibility that Canelo could knock this kid out the first time in his career. We could be looking at potential a first knockout between either one of these dudes. Canelo's never been down in a fight. Jaime, I don't think he's ever been down either. So this is it's not a 50-50 fight, but it's one of those fights where something strange could end up happening in this fight that we don't expect, so. But ultimately, man, I got Canelo by decision, man. Second pick would be Jaime Munguia getting stopped in the 10th round. I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm going with a decision for Canelo Alvarez. I think Jaime is tough and young, but I just don't think he's seasoned enough. He ain't fought nobody really, man. So I think Canelo just going to outwork him for the whole 12 rounds, and I think he gonna punish Jaime, but Jaime gonna hang on to the 12th round decision. Just my take. Let me know what y'all think. It's Rebel Life Boxing, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.